We believe that it is a writer's medium. We have to adapt to what they have written.
Vikram Vedha is one of my favorite films. And I've heard that you guys are remaking it in Hindi with Hrithik and Saif Ali Khan. Why do you think you needed to, retell that story in another language?
Our condition was if the story is going to be remade, we'll make it. It's the same story but a whole new film.
Exactly.
Like,
Comment, subscribe to
Youth Ki Awaaz.
Hello, Pushkar sir, Gayatri ma'am, Bramma sir, Anucharan sir. First of all, congrats for your series, Suzhal.
thank you.
And it's Suzhal, right?
Suzhal.
Yes, it is Suzhal, not Suzhal. As I have been corrected by so many of my Tamil friends. First of all, I just want to ask you, how does it feel to go live at one point in 30 languages? Over 30, I think. How many are there?
Yeah.
I've lost count.
30 languages plus subtitles.
Dubbing.
30 plus is what we heard.
Dubbing.
So I don't know what that plus stands for.
Okay, nice.
We didn't start that way. We started off as
Tamil
Amazon's first Tamil original as such, and cinematic television, big series. Then after they saw the show, they said like, yes, we're going to localize it in a whole bunch of languages. We just kicked over the fact that Indian content will reach a global audience. At the heart of it, this is still Indian storytelling. So
Yes.
we are not trying to make it into like this series, like that series kind of thing. This is still a very, very rooted in a specific town kind of story.
And I think that is also the strength, as in nowadays what goes global is much more local. I mean, it's very true to his ethos. And actually our actor, as one of our actors, I'm really waiting to see myself speak in Japanese and Chinese and Korean. So yeah, it's like really exciting. Man, as creators, what do you want to do? You want your story to travel as far as possible. So that's happening. So really happy.
So Bramma sir and Anucharan sir, what was it like working on this show, and what was for you guys as directors, what was the most critical part of shooting the series, which probably kept you up at nights, and there were probably quarrels with these two guys here?
For me, him.
Yeah, there are no quarrels as such, but setting up took some time. So we share equal, very similar sensibility. We have our own styles. We have our own preferences. But at the same time, we believe that it is a writer's medium. We have to adapt to what they have written. And the Bible is ready, pakka ready. It was not like half done, it was fully ready. And we had to only add some colors to it. And execution-wise, we had to only give those lives into the writing. That was very important.
For now, is it a limited time series, or are you planning to extend it to different seasons?
This story gets over at the 8th episode, what the story is. But the idea of the series and a couple of the characters will continue on.
You guys are clearly like the masters of thriller right now, because Vikram Vedha definitely was breathtaking.
Right.
So how do you think this one is different from your previous stuff, and like especially from a transition from film to a web series?
First and foremost, all the films we have done till now, we set it only in Madras. So the fact that we travelled out of Madras...
Where is this one set?
So this is set in a fictional town called Sambalur, which we shot in Ooty, in Kodaikanal, in Coimbatore, parts of it in Madras also. So this one involved a lot of research, mainly because there is also a festival which happens. That's the background of the whole story. When something happens, how it ruptures the fabric of a small town society was where we started from also. So I think the small town setting actually helps that way.
So I can't help but ask this, because full disclosure, Vikram Vedha is one of my favorite films. And I've heard that you guys are remaking it in Hindi with Hrithik and Saif Ali Khan. So why do you think you needed to, retell that story in another language?
Okay, so when we released that film in 2017, the scenario was very different from now. At that point of time, how business of cinema operated was you sell the dubbing rights or you sell the remake rights, and both of them are revenue streams as such. Our condition was if the story is going to be remade, we'll make it. We wanted to do justice to the story as such. It's the same story but a whole new film.
Exactly. One very big central talking point about this series is that it's being released in so many languages, right? And obviously, as you said, that we want Indian content to get more global. But a lot of times, Indian cinema gets confused with Hindi cinema. So do you think that this sort of monopolization affects people from other film industries?
We have withstood the onslaught of the Hollywood machine.
Most countries in the world, I mean, European greats, with all the they're masters and all. French, German, Italian, they've all kind of, struggling.
The percentage
So
of
we still,
local cinema vis-a-vis Hollywood cinema is very different from what we have over here. We have a robust filmmaking fraternity which strongly stands for Indian storytelling. Yes, the attention has been primarily on Hindi language cinema, more so because that is the cinema which spreads to a larger market. A market which was defined early on in the 50s, 60s kinds. Only over the past 15 years or 20 years, I would say, we had crossovers happening between the 4 South Indian languages.
So for this show, was there any attempt to, make it more palatable to other audiences?
No.
No,
absolutely.
actually, as we told earlier, we didn't start off with that plan. Even otherwise, if you keep diluting the essence of it, then actually you don't achieve what you want in the home market nor outside. So I think,
we need to do this so that it works in X market, no? I think that's a fallacy. I remember a story from Hollywood where they were trying to make a film which works in the Asian market with a big star, flopped miserably. That was an idea where they said yes, if we do all this, we can conquer the Asian market. Didn't happen. But pure Hollywood content has worked in the Asian market really well. Then you have the superhero films which are working in every market. That has no connection to anything, but it still works. So I think as long as you're true to what is the demands of the story, we are fine.
So in this show, in the trailer, we saw a lot of references to this ceremony of Mayana Kollam. Yes. So please let our viewers know what is the ceremony and how does that play a part in the show's plot?
I think that is something which is left to be discovered in the show as such.
Okay.
But let me just say this: this is it's a small festival. And every part in Tamil Nadu will have a different way of celebrating this. So this is not a big festival like how you would say Diwali is or Dasera is. So this is an amalgamation of a bunch of things which we've seen across different versions of this festival in a bunch of different towns.
So actually, Mayana Kollai kind of translates to looting of the grave.
Looting of the grave.
Grave. And it happens over 8 to 10 days, depending on which part. So each episode is kind of set in one day of the festival.
Okay.
So that
8 days, 8 episodes.
Yeah, so that's roughly.
Do you think more creators should do stuff like this where you take a story and you root it amongst a very local, setting?
In fact, coming from Tamil, almost every filmmaker does it. They root their stories in a specific place. So it could be a Madurai-based story, a Tirunelveli-based story, but it'll always be something based story. It is never.
Actually, even rom-coms. Even rom-coms have like a.
I don't remember a film which has come in Tamil which is not defined what town it's happening in.
So time and space is pretty.
Yes.
I mean, that is very basic. In fact, a lot of films are named after the town only. So.
Okay.
So that I think is par for the course in a lot of the content which we see from Tamil and Malayalam.
For me, who doesn't speak Tamil, I have lived there for some time, but I don't know the culture very well. For me, films like these are my cultural education. So
I think that's a great way of looking at it. One thing is, as we go further down the line, people are going to discover places and culture through cinema.
Exactly.
That has been happening for a long time, and that is not going to end. Because what better way to discover another culture than see it through a story?
Exactly. I know New York because of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, our first definition of what America would be was from Archie comics.
Yeah.
And then you go there and realize, no, it has nothing to do with that world. So storytelling is the best way to discover other cultures.
What is a story? You put people in a conflict situation and how they react to it.
Finally, what do you guys think the audience should expect from this show?
The word which you have been using all the time, cinematic television. So we want to have that big screen experience on your TV. So expect something which will have a large appeal. All these things which we expect out of a proper theatrical movie.
We would like for people to go back and they really hope they enjoy the ride. But think about it and hopefully it generates a conversation.
This will create definitely a very deeper impact. And beyond the experience that we were talking, there will be definitely an impact because this something happening here is very important across the world, especially to our country also. So that impact is something that we can expect.
Suzhal has, like they say, so many different elements to it. There's love, action, and all that. And we're also talking about a social issue. You'll get a really good experience, and then there are things that there are cultures and rituals that we have not seen ourselves coming from Tamil Nadu. So we have explored that in a very new way. So and we are seeing it in a new light, and I think audience will also be equally excited to see that. So
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
It was lovely talking to you guys, and all the best for Suzhal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.